Hello and welcome back to Woodhill Park and this two-part of a long-winded saga about me getting into the Hornby HM7000 system, and it's been giving me the runaround, and I think I might have got to the end of it and I'm very happy with the results. So say no more, here's the video of me messing about trying to work out whether I like this system or not. Now I've bought these Hornby power banks, I'm continuing my tests in trying to make them fail again, and I can't seem to get them to fail now. So they'll go over anything, even this crossover which I've had problems with in the past. Most of my trains will go over it, but they'll hesitate, or the lights will flash on them, or whatever. And to be honest, it's often a little bit dirty because I don't use it. But I'll run the class 56 over it so you can see for yourself that the lights flicker on it, but it's not impeded in any way at all. So the power bank, or stay alive as you put it, is really good at keeping these running no matter what. I did have a suggestion from somebody saying that maybe it was the dynamis, the Bachmann dynamis, that might have been causing the problem and not getting on with the Hornby chip, but it sits at a constant 16, I forget, 16 point something on my meter, so there's no fluctuation in voltage, that's there all the time. I've even run another loco next to the Hornby one running at the same time, one running on the dynamis handset and one running on the app on the phone, and they've not interfered with each other in any way whatsoever, and there don't seem to be any down points in running together. So I don't think it's anything to do with the Bachmann dynamics and the Hornby sort of clashing, Hornby chip clashing, should I say. After all, Hornby chips have been compatible in the past, so I would like to think they made these chips the same way, and I don't think that's the issue. And after playing about like this, I really think it's the issue with a constant supply to the chip. It just needs a constant supply, and one little glitch is enough to throw it into turmoil. So they do need these power banks or stay alives, and I don't think they're really an optional extra. I think they're a must. If you're going to run a long layout like I've got, with points and crossovers and other things that may occasionally cause a loco to lose a fraction of a bit of power, which don't affect any of the normal running of my layout, but does seem to affect these Hornby chips. They just are temperamental about losing the most smidgen of voltage, so they do need a constant source of power. So as from being an optional extra on my layout, it's definitely not the case. I think if you had just a looper track and very little points that you could lose power on, I think you would have no problem, but it's just a no-brainer really to fit these. But in saying that, it is an extra cost, and instead of costing about £60, we're looking at about 75 per train now, or loco, but still way cheaper than ESU chips. So I'm on the whole very impressed with the system, and I do want to persist with it, as it works really well running it alongside the ordinary DCC system. And I think the pigeon agrees with me. Noisy thing. So running them in tandem for me is working well, just set for these little hiccups, which I think I've overcome them now by just not even thinking about having a loco without one of these power banks in them. Really, they need them. about 25 seconds that carried on. So you got about 25 seconds of extra power should you have a glitch on the track, which is pretty good for the size of that power bank. We're back on the right track. Hopefully it'll come back to life. Yeah, these have been said to take a while to come back to life, even with a power bank. Obviously they shouldn't trip up in the first place. Now I've got somebody's phone in the background, in their car. You wouldn't believe the sounds I get up in this loft. Oh, is it going to start up again or not? Power's on the rails. It's just sitting there. I mean, it's not likely to be taken off the track and held up in the air like that. So that's not really going to be a problem. But these chips losing power generally is a bit of a problem. I particularly like this system because it now allows me to continue to use the Bachmann Dynamis, which only allows for 30 locos, and if I wanted to do anything other than that, I had to allocate a position as a guest, and then just label all those guests. And there's the pigeon again. Sorry about that, very noisy pigeon in the background. Hopefully it's finished. Yeah, I have to label all the locos I don't run on the layout regularly as a guest, and they all have to be number 3, and I have to have one place out of the 30 spaces on my handset as number 3, a guest. Bloody pigeon. Because of that situation, I was between a rock and a hard place in knowing what to buy next for a handset. I do like the Dynamis, I do like the controller, but I didn't want to buy a system I wasn't happy with, so I was looking at all the different DCC controllers, and I was just going round and round in circles, wondering whether I should commit to another one, even though I possibly wouldn't be happy with it. And this comes along, and to be honest, this has solved all the problems for me, because it allows me to keep my Dynamis and also run another system in tandem with it. So, as I said, I will be persisting with this, because I think it's a brilliant system, and it might have a few glitches and teething problems, but in the long run I think it's going to work out really well for me, and that's just in my opinion, as they say. It doesn't mean that it will be fit the bill for you or not. I have to say my favourite profile so far is this Class 56. I think the sound on it is excellent, and most of the time it does work and it's not playing up. I do think the sound's great. and for what is now £70, it's brilliant really. I think I'd rather pay £75 for that, and a system to be able to run it on your phone, than £120, which is just an addition to your ordinary DCC sound system, not sound. So great stuff. You may remember in the first part of this saga I said I don't think I'm going to be able to get one of these power banks in my Steam Loco because there's no room. Well, I got it wrong. They're smaller than I thought, and so I managed to fit one in quite easily, and I was pleasantly surprised because they're only about 20mm long, and they're about 10mm tall and about 8mm wide. And what I did, I managed to fit it in this hole here and stick it with double-sided tape to the chassis of the tender, and it fits in there lovely. In fact, it gets lost in there. Perfect place for it. And then keeping the chip like I had it across the tender, and then the speaker at one end, and then very carefully tucking the cables out of the way as you put the top of the tender on. It fits lovely. So I have to eat my words there, and just fits in place lovely. I'm just going to screw it up, but I assure you it fits. And these power banks are a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be. So, providing you've got the space in the tender like I've got, which is tight or better, you're going to be able to fit these, no problem at all. And somebody did ask what scale it was, because they didn't know what scale it was, but it's not TT, it's 00. I only run 00. I'm not into TT. But to be honest, some of these chips are harder to fit in 00s than TTs because they've not been designed to take these size of chips. They're often a bit too long because of the Bluetooth aerial at the end of them. So it's more of a problem to fit them in 00 in some cases. I thought the sound that the Class 56 was making when it reacquired power was a bit strange, and it suddenly came to me that it sounded like one of the sound effects, and after looking through the sound effects, it's the driver buzzer. But I don't know if you can see that, the driver buzzer here. And what it was, every time the power went off and come back, it played that sound effect. I didn't know it was on, so I must have caught it and it was on, and because it's on page 3 you couldn't see it, so as soon as it lost power and then came back, it would just play that again. I thought there was something wrong with the chip. So it just shows how things, well, you can go down the wrong avenue of thinking something's wrong. But yeah, crazy. Yeah, I'm learning this system as much as having problems with it. very noisy at the moment. So I'll cut the power for a minute. With these stay alives, they take a little while to die down. Oh, that's it, they've gone. Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's a really good system. I mean, I'd buy it. Well, to be honest, I already have. And I bought it 4 times over now. I've got 4 chips, 2 8-pin, 3 8-pin, and 1 21-pin, yet to be put in a loco. But yeah, after a lot of messing around, I think it's a very good system. And despite all the glitches I've had and head scratching, I definitely want to persist with this. It's a good system, and I think Hornby's onto a winner here. I'm not paid by Hornby. I'm not paid by anybody. I don't earn any money off of anything. All this is done off my own back. So if you want an independent opinion, I'm about as independent as they get, really. So I've sort of ran out of things to say, really. It's not my bag. I don't normally review things. I'm a modeller, and I want to go back to doing modelling. I just thought I would share some of my thoughts and reflections on this system, and it's turned into a bit of a saga. But as I say, my end conclusions are, you'll have to make your own mind up, but I think it's good, and it suits me well, especially using it alongside the Backman controller rather than buying another DCC system. So it's going to save me quite a lot of money, because I won't need another system. So that's it, and bye for now. Sits across like that. The speaker sits one side. Noisy kids. Gonna have to do that one again. I would say the sound in the steam engine, the class A3 stroke A3. I'm getting a right kerfuffle with my words at the moment. But yes, I think it's A2, A3. I must admit, I'm not entirely up on the versions between A1 and A3. But this 462, let's just call it a 462 and it's an Edward Thompson. Well, the name on it's Edward Thompson. Anyway, this steam engine, for want of a better word, or two words, I've now got a pigeon on the roof doing a tap dance. Oh, that running up and down the apex. But it's a very versatile system, and it suits me really well to add on to my dynamics. And somebody's just gone down the road, and a loud car is going to turn round and come down here and make a loud noise just because I'm filming. Yeah, that's it. Let's all play a tune on your exhaust. This is why I have to suffer when I'm filming. Boy racers, dogs barking, pigeons tapping on the roof. There goes the boy racer with his big exhaust. Hopefully he disappears up it. I really must try filming in the middle of the night, because that's the only peaceful time. Blimey, this is so hard, trying to get takes in between dogs barking, kids screaming, planes taking shooting over my head, and I'm sort of, I despair. As soon as I get the camera out, it all goes to pieces. Dogs are having a conversation in the background now. Oh, it's gone mad. How can you film when you've got this in the background?